Okay, so thanks for the like and thanks for being patient, guys. I appreciate you. And I also thank you for subscribing to the channel and watching the videos. It's really I'm really appreciative. What's up, Rockman? What is that my nephew? I'm not sure which Rockman that is. I have my TSU shirt on. My nephew won his team last night. They won in overtime. So TSU shout out. That's why I have my shirt on. Very proud auntie. So let's get into it. So Kash Jackson, uh, a family court reform advocate and former Illinois gubernatorial candidate. I think I pronounced that correctly. Was arrested on October 14th. I think that's the right date. The charges are allegedly threatening to kill two Lake County judges. Come on, y'all. So the article by the Daily Herald states that Lake County Sheriff's Lieutenant Chris Covelli, Covelli, said that, quote, Jackson threatened to kill the judges during a call to Lake County Court Security Office, end quote. And if anybody knows Kash or has talked to him or watched his videos, um, I think we all know he's a little too smart to threaten to kill anyone on a phone call, let alone a judge on a recorded sheriff's phone line, and not expect to be arrested. It's a good try, though. Secondly, and this is what gets me, the Herald, the same media outlet, states that both judges presided over an ongoing civil case Jackson was party to per the lieutenant. Now, making this sound like a civil case, that's making it seem like this litigation is like something like, okay, an eviction or a credit card debt. When this same news media outlet has written about Kash and this family court case not once, but twice in the past. So it's not just a civil case to be just lumped into, like it's nothing. So I had to dig a little bit deeper because I'm like, what do they mean a civil case? Like they don't know what's going on. Why would they lessen what's going on with such a significant accusation as threatening to kill judges? Wouldn't they go as far as to say, oh, and he's been back and forth with this particular judge over his children and over what he claims is too much child support? I mean, he ran for governor, so wouldn't that just make sense? So Lee Phyllis, Filas, of the Daily Herald reported in 2018 about Cash's case in front of Judge Joseph Salvi, Salvi, which he described as, quote, a shouting match during a contentious court hearing involving child visitation and support issues, end quote. So to, like I said, minimize what was going on back in 2018 with Kash and his judge and just call it a basic civil case is misleading. It's like misleading the public to make it seem like Kash was just out of control over this little small civil matter. And that's not true. And everybody that knows what's been going on with Kash's case knows that's not true. So Felix goes on to say that the judge called Jackson self-centered, that's a quote, and egotistical, that's another quote, to which Kash responded that he should recuse himself from the case. Because all that sounds personal. Kash, all he asked, could you recuse yourself? Now you're calling names, and all Kash is doing, like he has a right to do, is ask that he see his children. asked that this child support be reduced based on based on what he is currently earning. Like that's what they're supposed to do, is base child support on what you can earn, what you can afford to pay. So when you're in a contentious court hearing, the media reports, and the judge is calling you names, and y'all are going back and forth, then maybe the judge might recuse himself. This is too personal, especially since his brother, the judge's brother, was also running for governor of Illinois. So he was a competitor of Kash running. So that was an issue. There was something, I couldn't find it. There was something that was said on Facebook by the brother about Kash dropping out or something. Don't quote me on it because, like I said, I didn't see it. I tried to find it. I'm not active on a personal page on Facebook, so I couldn't access, personal pages. But if you're on Facebook and active, look it up and see if you can see if that post is still up. So I'm sure it's going to surface. On this case, it's going to surface. So during the hearing, Kash had wanted visitation with his daughter, who at the time he hadn't seen for 5 months. The judge agreed to grant visitation, but wanted the initial meeting at a neutral family visitation center. The judge, apparently not liking Kash's response, described it as a balk, asked whether he would show up at the meeting. Now that too is condescending, because here this father is practically begging to see his children. Any other time they want to call these parents, these fathers, these kids fatherless, call these fathers absent. And when these fathers try to see their children, they tell them no, and set up these visitations and neutral family visitation centers and things like that. But when the parents were together or getting along, he was good enough to be a father, be active, be there when they were together. But once they separate, now everybody has to watch the interaction between father and child. And that's not fair. But we know this system is not fair. So the back and forth went on for a remainder of the hearing, with the judge threatening contempt of court because Kash allegedly owed a little over $6,000 in child support debt. He needed at least half by that Monday to buy his freedom. Everybody should have a problem with that. If you can't afford to buy your freedom, you should not therefore be incarcerated. That is illegal and unconstitutional. Debtor prisons were outlawed in 1833. A lot of people do not have $6,000 laying around, especially when you're a disabled veteran. You don't just have that money laying around, period. And if you're not a veteran, a lot of people don't have stacks and stacks and stacks of money just at their disposal. Just because the government has written this, this money scheme or hustle, if you will, to extort money from the non-custodial parent to the custodial parent, doesn't mean that voila, money is going to appear out of the sky. That's not how this goes. So do you see why it's so diabolical for this media outlet to call Kash's arrest something to do over a civil case? That's absolute bunk. And the Daily Herald and Leaf Felis had also reported just 2 months prior to Kash being incarcerated for contempt of court for not paying to his ex-wife for child support, education, and other related expenses. Kash had already been incarcerated 2 months prior by this judge, the same judge that he threatened to kill. He had already been in jail. He had already threatened to lock Kash up for 6 months, in which Kash replied by phone that the court system is breaking down good parents who just want to be part of their children's lives, end quote. And these people just ignore the cries and pleas that parents make so that they can be in children's lives, and it's for $1. They have put a money, a value on the relationship between children and parents. It's all for a come up. It's all for their come up because most of this money, they'll tell you that it goes to the families, but there's a huge chunk of money that stays with the government, never reaches the children. So as long as the government has any um, any skin in the game, because I forgot what I was going to say. Any if they are going to have any right to any money in there, besides just running the program or something like that, but anytime they can profit, uh, $5, $10, $11, $15 off of $1 spent on the child support program, that's all profit for them. And they profit off the TANF program because they got those block grants. They keep those block grants. They only have to spend it on what they want to. It's all profit for them. So as long as they keep getting all the money off the backs of these children and parents, they're not going to listen to the pleas of the Kash Jacksons of the world, of the country. So Cash is a retired and disabled veteran, having served in the Navy for 20 years. Felis reported that Cash was unemployed and received about $4,500 monthly from the military retirement and disability. His child support is roughly $2,500. That left him roughly with two grand a month. Cash said that, quote, they are putting me in a debtor prison. There is no way I can meet all of the expectations that Judge Salvi has set out for me, end quote. Now, on that, I have to say, as far as the child support system is concerned now, they have this man's whole financial income, his whole financial life in the news, all over social media. So my question is, what is the ex-wife's financial background? How much money is she bringing in? Why is it? I know why it is, because of the all you gotta do is follow the money. But if they're going to put the non-custodial parents' income on blast and say, "Oh, you're supposed to be paying $2,500 out of your income," then let's go look and see how much the custodial parent is spending per month on the children. And let's not include things like the electric bill. Let's not include things like rent. Let's not include things they would as an adult have to pay for anyway. Now we can tack on a little twos and fews for the extra room or the extra electric that you use when the kids are home. But just to say they're a non-custodial parent is responsible for the rent, period. No. So let's when you're sitting up here counting his money, counting his pockets, let's make sure you count her pockets too. And each parent make sure each parent is putting in $2,500. Let's do that, because we have to remember Cash is disabled. So I don't know what his percentage is with the VA, but any disabled veteran knows it's not easy to get a disability rating from the Department of Veterans Affairs. If you get a rating and they declare you disabled, you're disabled. It doesn't just come easy. So yeah, he's unemployed. He's disabled. They need to stop like sweeping that under the rug. A disability. If you're disabled, you're disabled. Stop making it seem like disabled people, disabled veterans are supposed to be out there working when they have been classified as disabled. That pisses me off. So according to the article, Judge Salvi has said that it's, quote, illogical for Jackson that he can't make pay that he can't pay child expenses that are expected. He pointed out Jackson makes $4,500 per month from the government before any employment compensation and has the capacity to run for governor of Illinois, but is unable to obtain a full-time job, end quote. I had to break that down. First of all, this sounds personal, as I said before. Judge Salvi, so he should have recused himself when Cash asked him to, because he's digging in. What does his running for governor have to do with this case? Nothing. But he made it about. As you see, he keeps interjecting. If you read the articles, I put them the links in the description. If you go and read those articles, you'll see that he interjected Cash's run for governor several times when Cash was in his courtroom. So you know it was personal. Secondly, the judge makes it seem as if Cash is getting free money from the government, like he didn't serve 20 years in the Navy, like this was welfare or something. You know, what did he say? Jackson makes $4,500 per month from the government before any employment. Well, yeah, he gets it because one, he's retired, and two, he became disabled in the military. So it's not just he gets this money from the government. He earned it. He earned it. It's not just them handing him. He's giving out, he's entitled to, these secret words that they use. Like they're just giving him money, so he should be able to give it to. No, he earned that money. And he's obviously disabled. So please do not, if the judge, I know he won't see this video, but I just want to put it out there. Please do not belittle his service, as I'm sure you wouldn't want anyone to belittle your time on the bench. Thirdly, the judge is not privy to Cash's disabilities and why he is unable to obtain full-time employment. That's not his business. He doesn't have to disclose, oh, I can't work because I had a serious back injury while I was in service, or I have PTSD while I was in service. He doesn't have to disclose that. But the military or the Veterans Affairs determine he's unable to work. Finally, what is the exact criteria for running for governor? Because from what I've seen, Cash had way more capacity to run for governor than many people holding that position right now. That's just my opinion. I know that Cash was fighting for family court and child support reform and the end of parental alienation, something that the rest of these governors, representatives, senators, vice presidents, and presidents have been too scared to do. So Cash had my vote. If I was in Illinois, I would have voted for Cash. So that's my take on this. I want to put out the information why I think this is connected. I hope Cash can stay safe while they have him incarcerated. I will be happy to see him beat these charges, and I'm confident that he will. Like I said, I'll put money. Now, I know small change. I'll put money that this is a setup. I'll put that. So his bond is $500,000. That's what it was last time I checked on Facebook. That's a lot of money. And I didn't hear any audio of him threatening. I haven't seen any like concrete evidence. Like we just have what the sheriff said, and whatever. So I'm trying to find out. I've seen some GoFundMe people asking for donations, but I'm trying to pinpoint how it's going to what platform or how we can guarantee that it's going to his to him, so we can bond him out. Hopefully, that's a lot of fucking money, and hopefully raise some money for his defense. So once I find out that information, make sure his mom gets it. I know I saw a piece of a video, and it said that his woman, I don't know if this is his wife, his significant other was setting something up or was working with somebody, set something up, and his mom said she was going to open a bank account that was just going to be for cash and his, free cash and legal expenses. So I think I'll wait until they get everything together, and then I'll share it so everybody will donate and we know it's going to the right place and that it's going to help free him. So I think that's so for now. Lake County, Illinois, dropped all the charges and free my brother Kash Jackson. Remember, they can ignore hundreds, they can ignore thousands, but they cannot ignore millions. And I thank you all for tuning in. I know it's football Sunday. My football day is Saturday. So, but I wanted to, like I said, get this out. So I know it's late and it's football day, but I had to come on here. Now I'm gonna look at the comments real quick and see if there's anything I can answer. Oh, thank you for all the likes, guys. I appreciate you. They ignore that. That's one thing. Like even that, though his if it's retirement pay included in your disability compensation, they can include it as income. But if there's no retirement in your disability compensation, they are legally not supposed to count it as income, and it certainly shouldn't be garnished. If they want it to be garnished or considered, they have to go through the VA. It's called appropriation, and the VA has to approve it. And if it causes a financial hardship to the veteran, then they will not approve that. I did a video about that. You have to look through my videos, but something VA, I forget the title of it, but if you look at just the thumbnails, I have an army shirt on. And I go in great detail. One of the reasons that they are not supposed to charge garnished disability compensation is that it's not based on wages. It's not based on earned money. Disability compensation is based on an injury, not on work. That's why they're not supposed to touch it. It's not income. It's based on you being injured or in the military. So it's not. It's different money. Yeah, they're just railroading him. Well, he didn't win the governorship, but um, there was a lot of going on, and I wasn't because I wasn't on Facebook following everything because I shut my personal Facebook page down. So I wasn't seeing all the back and forth going on between the judge's brother, and Cash. I was just like, go Cash, if I saw anything when I was on the Child Support Hustle Facebook page, I would share it because I rock with Cash. We did a radio. He came on when we were doing the Child Support Hustle radio show. He came on and did an interview. I put that on. I put the link to our. We did a ton of interviews with quite a few people. So I put that link up, and you can go on where we interviewed Cash, and he talked in detail about the case even back then. So for them to call it a civil case, like that got under my skin. Like you guys already reported on this case, and y'all acting like it's nothing. Like it's just like, oh, he got evicted and he's threatening these judges. No, y'all are keeping this man from his child. Y'all are harassing him. Y'all are extorting him. Y'all doing everything and nobody's saying anything. And this does not just happen to Cash. This happens to every parent that's fighting for the right to see their children and not to be extorted with child support. And if you fight back, they'll lock you up. And nobody says a word. That's the scary part. The people that we elect to be in charge of this don't say shit. They say nothing. So it continues to go on. In the meantime, they act like they don't have any money, but they are stealing money. Let me see. Okay, that's fine. You can reach out to me on Facebook. I would prefer email. I just check email a lot. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad to provide the information. Like I said, I like Cash. Cash is my dude for real. It definitely needs to be something restructured, reformed, abolished. I mean, there's so many. I mean, in the Title 4D runs so deep, and they put this is. I'm researching the. I'm gonna write this article. I'm gonna be putting this article out in a minute about the independent contractors. Excuse me, in Texas and Florida have passed legislation where they're trying to make employers treat the independent contractors as if they're employees for the sake of garnishments, which is such nonsense. And when I break this down to you, you're gonna be like, well, if y'all read the article, and I hope that y'all do because it's a lot going on, but it's just for money. It's just for money. Just like the law that they just passed under this American, what is it, rescue plan, American Rescue Plan. Now, if you get money from Venmo, Cash App, like if you're a small business or something like that, where it used to be $20,000 was the threshold before you had to file taxes on that money. Now they dropped it to $600 that you have to report taxes on. What? Man, now that got me. I don't know what we're gonna do about that. But that's one of the things with this independent contractor, the $600 reporting, it's all tied in. So it's also people, it's more so that the government can get their tax money for tax evaders. It really, child support, they already had this stuff in line. Like independent contractors can already be garnished. It's more about the taxes. So all this stuff they do, and now locking Cash up and all that kind of stuff, they're trying to silence him, in my opinion, because Cash he gonna go there, and I'm sure he was into it with that judge. I would be into it with them too. They just take your rights and then blame you. They take your children from you and then call you a deadbeat. It is so high, speak life. It is so high. And that's another thing. They know this. They know this. It's just before they wasn't speaking about it. They would never speak about it. They did this by plan, it's by design. And they put child in front of support when they should have put government in front of support. So if they put child in front of it, and then they got all these parents, breaking up, mad, a lot of these breakups are contentious and all this kind of stuff. So hey, that's a money maker. And then we're going to do welfare reform and we're going to make the custodial parents assign their rights over to us. So that's guaranteed money. And then we're going to make those fathers pay the money back, even though they didn't sign a contract or anything. But so most of these people are low income. Most of us don't know about, that we can tell them anything. They're not going to read the fine print like we didn't. The next thing you know, we owing the government. We locked into this lifetime contract. The daddy is owing 30, 40, $50,000. You find out you're not getting a penny because you signed on the dotted line just to get, in my case, 300 and something dollars, not even $400. But he owes y'all 35,000. And then people got on to what they were doing. Myself, and that's how the child support hustle came about. Private prisons, you sure right. Well, this was a few years ago. I haven't done any research lately, but they were locking people up, violating people just to fill prisons. They had built private prisons that sat empty for a couple of years. So then they started just locking people up so they could fill those prisons. I'm gonna start doing a lot more research and a lot more advocacy on prison reform too, because with the child support system, the debtor prisons, and they're going to try to start locking people up. But the thing that really happened was the pandemic. And then it really hit hard because you cannot, what we have been talking about for years, these debtor prisons, it really started hitting people that they didn't think it was going to affect. Like, oh, just pay your child support. You just need to pay your child support. Well, some people can't go to work. They shut the whole country down. You cannot get money like that. And that's why I called for the cancellation of child support. And people like, well, the kids still got to eat. The thing is, you can go to the government and apply for benefits, food, cash, health care. If the mother's not working, the father, there's no benefits available, but they still want child support. You can't get blood from maternity. Louisiana, what does that mean, Kenneth? I'm not sure what you're referring to. So I'm gonna get up off of here. It's late. I've been really working all day, working on that article, and then I'll put this together for the cash for this video today about cash, because like I said, I didn't want to go to sleep without putting something out. And when I find out where to donate, hopefully we can raise the money and soldier for him like he soldiered for so many. I saw this little post on Facebook when I was looking for information about where to donate. Somebody was like, "What is he even did for the movement or something like that?" Not, I didn't comment. I don't comment like on personal stuff, but he's done a lot. And whether he's helped people with showing them how to get, go through the system, or his videos giving pep talks, or if I didn't understand something, I hit him up. Hey, Cash, what's going on? Or if he had a question, like sometimes just being a friend. Like he's done a lot. So keep them little nasty comments to yourself. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say any fucking thing. Oh, you're welcome, Corey. Thank you. They're not going to, that's another thing. You can't sue the mother. I have never, even in cases of paternity fraud, I'll take that back. I've heard of cases where the a victim of paternity fraud has sued and won, but they weren't in the United States. I think the one I just read like last week was maybe South Africa. Like overseas, I've seen some cases where the paternity fraud victim, has sued and won, but I haven't seen that happen here, even in paternity fraud cases, because they don't care. I mean, that's the simple truth. They don't care. As long as they're getting five, what is it, 5.06 on the dollar, $5.06 on the dollar on a return on investment, and then all that other money. I mean, they just get money on top of money on top. They don't care. Yep. And then they have all kind of, you know, if you take a child into your home for 2 years, even if you know that's not your child, you didn't sign a birth certificate. But if you take that child, a man takes that child into his home for like 2 years, he's considered the legal father. Like they got a whole bunch of, it's just some nonsense going on. Y'all, we can go on and on, but we're going to save it for another one. If y'all got a topic that y'all want me to discuss, like research and discuss, I will put something together and try to get the information for you. Um, I don't work on individual cases. I'm not just being rude or anything like that. If people reach out to me, I say, I don't work on cases anymore, but I'll try to point you in the right direction. So it's not anything personal. So please don't take it that way. It's just, I've been at this for a long time. So I'm just like falling back. There's a lot of people out here doing this. So I'm just concentrating on like making videos. I'm trying to reach more people and doing a couple of writing projects. I got a book I'm working on and something else. So yeah. But thank y'all so much. Oh, look at all the likes. I appreciate it. Okay, classified. That'll be cool. Ohio, that's my city, my state. I'm out of Columbus. I want to see that. Was it paternity fraud? You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank y'all for being here. I really want to get. I was trying to get get a podcast started, but we couldn't. Something was shaky and janky with the podcast. Like the the password wouldn't work. Like it would never click together. So I'm gonna start that up again because we do want to hear your stories and we do want to have y'all share them and get them out there and stuff because that can your story might help somebody else and together we can defeat this system. But we got to come together. Everybody has a different way of doing things. Your way might not be that person's way, but together we can all come to. We all want to defeat this system. We can all agree on that. So and don't forget, I'm gonna put the link to our radio programs in this description, and y'all can go and listen to Cash on our radio show. And there's a lot of other ones. We probably have about I want to say 20 people we interviewed on there. So just check that out. Oh, okay. I want to see that. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy, and y'all probably see me a different. I'm gonna try to find somewhere next time that has better light, cause I'm like traveling, so I don't have all my, my little fancy stuff with the little ring light and all that good stuff. But I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Somebody said, "Why you always, I guess, do this?" It's a force of habit. But my answer was, "Why you listening? Kick rocks, definitely." Well, they shouldn't be doing it anyway, but that's still good news, Anthony. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy. Remember, they can ignore hundreds, they can ignore thousands, but they cannot ignore millions. Let's go. Free Cash Jackson. Let's go.